Welcome to Part B of North Park Community Church's Vulnerable Sector Protection Policy Training video. The training we will cover in this video is a set of best practices for ministry leaders working within our youth ministry program for students in grades 6 to 12. These best practices should be implemented with students in every situation as much as possible. It is important to remember that these best practices are not just for the safety and protection of the students in our care, but also for the safety and protection of our leaders. Over the next few minutes, we will review 5 main topics that will help you and the students you care for to be as safe as possible while attending our amazing youth program. Number 1, small group time and student interaction in ministry to youth relationships are central to establishing trust and being an effective leader. So leaders should never put themselves or students in situations where that trust can be jeopardized. Therefore, during a small group or breakout time, our policy is that there should always be at least 2 recognized youth leaders in the room whenever 1 or more students are present. If more than 1 leader is not present, time spent with students should be in locations that are as public as possible. So meet in rooms that have windows and leave doors to rooms open rather than shut, making yourself easily visible to people passing by the room. Also, it's important to ensure proper lighting is used in classrooms and meeting environments to maximize visibility. Never enter a room where a student is alone without another leader. This best practice includes bathrooms. If you know a student is alone, find another bathroom or get another leader to go inside the bathroom with you. Leaders should never go into the washroom designated for the opposite gender, and in case of an emergency where assistance is needed in the washroom, at least 2 leaders must enter the washroom with the student. On the occasion a student may want to speak with the leader privately, these can be really meaningful times of support and encouragement, but should always be done in a manner that is above reproach. Some best practices to follow in these situations are, number 1, let another leader know where you and the student will be meeting. Number 2, meet in a place as public as possible while allowing for one-on-one conversation. Number 3, don't be in a separate room, hallway, or stairwell alone with a student. Always be sure others can see you and you can see others. Number 4, do not allow conversation to go too long. If further conversation is needed, make the necessary arrangements and try and bring another leader into the situation. Section number 2, discipline. Sometimes students are disruptive to large group or small group discussions or activities. In this circumstance, speak clearly and directly to the student to let them know that their behavior is not appropriate and ask them to stop. If the student will not follow your request, make sure to call the youth director to remove the student from the group. In any situation that you feel unable to gain control over a student's behavior, call the youth director and they will come and assist you. Students may seem resistant to discipline, but with fair, clearly explained, and well-established boundaries and expectations, a more enjoyable environment for mutual learning can be established. Be careful not to make your requests unrealistic and never use your power or authority as a ministry leader to control or manipulate behavior. Finding the balance between fun and in control is where you want to be in most ministry environments with students. Section number 3, off-campus student contact. On occasion, small groups may plan meetings or activities with students that do not occur during regularly scheduled youth programming. When leaders meet with students in these situations, the following procedures should be followed. Number 1, inform the youth pastor of your plan and gain approval for the event. Number 2, establish an event registration through the church office. And number 3, ensure that only students who have registered for these events are in attendance. Section number 4, transportation. Occasionally, transportation will be arranged by bus or van for youth to and from certain events, such as a retreat or major event. In cases like this, written parental consent is required and the church will organize and be responsible for the transportation of students. However, outside of such organized group events, providing students with transportation to and from youth events is to be avoided due to the high level of risk involved. If students need rides to and from regular programming, encourage them to use public transportation or find other students or families to drive with. Please note that if you do choose to transport a student to or from an event, you do so at your own risk and liability. Never be alone in a car with a student for any period of time. Section 5, social media. Social media is anywhere and everywhere today and used by youth all the time. As a leader in the youth ministry, you need to set a good example of proper and safe social media use by following the following guidelines. Number 1, Anything personal that is said to you in confidence by a student should never be posted about online. Number 2, posting pictures or making comments on your own personal social media about youth or youth programming should always be general in nature, referring to the group rather than to a specific individual, and should always be appropriate in nature to ensure nobody is singled out or negatively impacted. Number 3, posting personal stories about individual students is only permissible through the church's social media account, and parental consent must be given before the post is made public. Thank you for watching this section of our Vulnerable Sector Protection Policy Training video. Working with youth should be a rewarding and fun experience for everyone, and following these best practices will ensure that students in your ministry will also feel safe and secure as you share with them the love of Jesus.